You should be on number 27, Reaching Higher, in your percussion book on the drum side. So this is going to be page 8A. Up in the top yellow box, you have a word called rudiments. Rudiments are basic techniques of playing the snare drum. So think of how your xylophone has different notes and, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Think of snare drum as not just having one note or one type of note, but a lot of different types of notes, a lot of different ways you can hit the snare drum. Last video, you guys learned how to, instead of just hitting with a single stroke, regular hit, you learn to loosen your grip and to get the multiple bounces out for the multiple bounce notes. That was a type of note, just like you have different types of notes in xylophone or bells. This rudiment, or this specific snare drum skill or type of note, is called a flam. Look at the word flam. It's going to have a regular quarter note, just like you recognize and you have played many, many times, but it's also going to have a mini tiny note right before it. That mini note is called a grace note. And the grace note basically means you're just going to come into that first note by having a little tiny note come before it. So look down at 27. You're going to see a quarter note with a grace note, and the first little grace note is going to get the left hand, and then your main quarter note is going to get the right hand, just like a normal beat 1 quarter note would get. So if you're going to play this measure without the grace notes, it would just sound like this. 1, 2, without grace notes, here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And you would just have regular quarter notes with quarter rests. If you're going to add the grace notes in, what that's going to mean is that to create a flam, you're going to raise your right hand or right stick, just like you normally would, and the left hand is going to be raised just a couple inches off the snare drum head. And for a flam, this means this would be a right hand flam. It means that when they come down at the exact same time, like you should play a flam, they're going to create this sound. And you're going to hear that little brr, the first little left hand hitting right before the right hand. So again, to create a right hand flam, you raise your right stick into the upward position, and then your left hand gets raised a little bit, left stick gets raised a little bit above, and they come down at the same time to create that brah sound. And you're going to notice that the left and the right are flip-flopped in the second flam in that measure. Check it out. You're starting with a small right hand and a large left hand. Left hand's going to be raised for left hand flam. Right hand's going to be nice and low, raised a couple inches above the snare drum head, and you're going to lower them at the same time for a brah. Now, those were kind of far apart, and I kind of did that on accident, so if that happens sometimes, that's okay. Try and get them as close together as possible. Left hand flam again, raise the left hand. 1, 2, and here I go. And also be careful that you don't hit the rim of your snare drum. So reaching higher from the beginning. Let's try counting this out and playing it slowly first, and then we'll try it faster a second time. And we'll kind of talk about what that weird symbol is at the very end of the song after this. Here's the first time through. 1, 2, here I go. Flam, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And then you're going to hold this rest. A fermata, and you might have learned this already, but a fermata just means that you're going to hold whatever note it's on. And so for percussion, this often means just holding out a rest while the rest of the band holds out of notes for as long as the conductor goes, until the conductor goes like this to cut off the ensemble. Now, we're going to take this a little bit faster. Now, you might have seen me prepping the flam when I had a rest before it, and you can do that too. In these first couple beats, if you want to use that rest to prep your hand for the next flam, do that. For example, watch this. 1, prep, 2, prep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and so on. And you can use those rests to prep. And again, don't hit the practice pad or the snare drum rim. I'm doing that a lot right now because it's raised up a lot higher than I'm used to, because I wanted to get a good recording and good video for you guys. So we're going to take this again from the beginning. Really make sure that your hands are prepped, and make sure again that you're moving from the wrists. We don't want to be using both hands and moving both arms at the same time like this. We want to just move from the wrists so that we get a nice good strike on the snare drum head in a downward position. Here we go, from the beginning of Reaching Higher at this beat now. And 1, 3, and 1, 2, ready, go. Flam, rest, flam, rest, flam, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, hold. And that's how you play a flams. And you're going to see them often in the songs in the book from now on. So watch out for that. Come back to this page if you need to.